Alright, greetings and salutations everyone, and welcome back to a bonus upload. Before we get into it, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below, my merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click that like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and guys, it definitely matters. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with tonight's bonus upload, shall we? Alright guys, in the upload, I say that because I had shared the link in the previous video and nobody went and followed it and looked for themselves, that I wasn't going to share it. I am going to share it. It is in the description below. It's the news video clip of the footage from Lake Ogopogo that we are going to break down right now. All right, so what we are going to talk about really quick is this video that I had shared about 9-10 days ago. And it actually is from a news footage. Now, when I shared it initially, people immediately started to comment that it's fake, it's CGI, and then I put it up as a short the other day. Well, it's not CGI. It's not anything that was done to fool anyone. It was an actual video taken from an older couple that were on Lake Ogopogo. Now, they're not claiming that it's a Dogman at all. All right, that's the one thing that they are not. They are claiming that it is the monster of Lake Ogopogo. Now, if you look this creature up, it's a sea serpent-like creature. It does not resemble a plesiosaur, which would be Champ or Nessie. Champ being in Lake Champlain in my neck of the woods, Nessie in the Loch Ness. This creature is very long, slender-like, and it has these two nodes or nobules, whatever you want to call them, on the top of its head. It does, I will admit, it does have a very interesting kind of canine appearance to it. In that news footage that was aired 3 months ago, almost 4 months ago now, the news channel that aired it, and I actually, in the original video, put a link to the news video that was on YouTube. Now, all you'd have to do is simply type in Ogopogo Lake Monster in YouTube and the video will come up. The news article will come up. It's simple research. I know that people are going to look for a link. I'm not going to put it in. Just type it in the search bar. Because it'd actually be probably faster than people trying to find it in the description. Anyway, so if you look at this, it does appear to be kind of canine-like, but then if you look at the nobules, or whatever you want to call them, ears, to me, they don't look like ears. The face, or whatever that is underwater, does have a canine appearance. There was a biologist that was on that news footage as well, and he was thinking that it was possibly some type of aquatic seabird, and I don't see that at all. But I wanted to clear the air because this video was not put out on TikTok. It wasn't put out on Facebook or Reddit, or, made by these people who are using CGI dogmen dying on the freaking road that is absolutely fake. It's none of that. It's not air quotes trail cam footage where you can clearly see this black dogman that's CGI that people are just like, it's real. No. This is not meant to trick you. It's an actual video clip that these people have no idea what they caught. They submitted it to the news. They weren't looking for fame. They were just like, what in the God's name is this? They're not saying Dogman. They're not saying anything except the Lake Ogopogo monster. And still, the upload that I did stating the very same thing, people were still just, I don't know what it is. I honestly, it baffles me because people will buy into a video that this person is claiming is from a trail cam, but it's clearly a CGI black dogman right up to the screen. Or, yeah, CGI black dogman right up to the screen. You can tell that this is computer generated. Yet people are just drooling all over that like it's real. And they can't accept the fact that, hey, this is an actual news footage. This may be something other than a dogman. It may be a dogman. I don't know. But it's not a hoax. It's an actual video that was filmed on Lake Ogopogo. This older couple has no concern with cryptozoology. They don't want to fool you, fool me. They don't want any part of it. In all actuality, they're probably looking at us going, these people are crazy. But they just wanted to share a video that they found, or not found, that they recorded while spending the day on Lake Ogopogo. In all honesty, they think that it's this sea serpent-like creature. I'll admit, it does have a very canine-looking face, and it could be. It very well could be. It was moving. I've heard people say, oh, it's a dead wolf. It was actually moving. That's why I encourage people to go and look at the news footage, because there's a longer clip. I'll actually include the clip at the end, so it'll be about 22 seconds of just silence with the original clip. It just never seems to baffle me that people will buy into the fact that this couple of channels that have one has about as many subs as I do, another has like a couple hundred, and are putting this stuff out and being like, it's real, this CGI thing that I'm talking about. But instead of, really looking at it, pulling it up on their computer and tearing it apart, they're just going to buy into it. But this is an actual video clip of something that is completely a real mystery that is not fake. It's not hoaxed, and call it a hoax. So I actually encourage people to look and investigate the Ogopogo monster, read about it, because that face and those knobs or whatever the heck they are, I'm not going to call them ears. I don't even know what they are. They could be ears, but those are the oddest shaped ears I've ever seen. It resembles the statues and pictures that have been drawn of the Lake Ogopogo monster. So But yeah, so I just wanted to make this bonus about that. This is not a hoax. This is not meant to fool the cryptid community. This is a real video clip that was aired on the news. And there was a biologist saying, hey, it's an aquatic bird, so before people jump right at the hoax, look into things first, but you'll buy into a crazy video that is obviously a fake. It really makes no sense to me. And I know that people are smarter than this, but it's like they want something that is so clear. I don't think we'll ever get a video or a picture of a real Dogman or Sasquatch that's clear. They truly have some sort of, either it's their fur or it would be some sort of electromagnetic shift, because they can go through portals. I was going to say transfer through portals, but I believe truly that's why we will never get a crystal clear photo. It's not because people are taking these photos and videos with a potato. It's because there is some sort of disruption. Yet when you say that, there's still those people out there, the trolls or whoever, that are just, that's too complex for them to understand. But it's not, if you really think about that. We're talking about a creature or two creatures, or, not two creatures, two species of creature, Dogman, Bigfoot, that have survived through multiple centuries without, the public, air quotes, the military, we all know, and the government has them. But if you really have to really put the brakes on sometimes and just think about things, instead of being like, hey, I don't buy this photo because it's blurry. Well, why are all these photos blurry and all these videos blurry? Well, there's got to be a reason. And it's not to trick people. It's not to hoax people. It's because there's something going on. The military, the Russian military, there was a scientist who was, her scientific job, or I don't even know geez, I'm crow. Her study was studying the fact that Sasquatch can camouflage themselves and blend in. And the Russian government took over her study, even though it's not funded by the government. This was privately funded by this woman, scientist, because they wanted the technology. So if they are looking at that, then that really, to me, says, hey, that's more than likely the reason why we're not getting a clear picture. When we do get a picture, we're probably pretty lucky, But, that's a theory, my theory, and I don't know if it's right or not, but to me, it's plausible. But the video and the photo that you're looking at right now was not created to deceive the cryptid world. And it was funny because I had clearly said, hey, the article is in the description below. The video clip is in the description below. Check it out. And there was at least 15 to 20 people. Hoax, this, and that. Like, dude, go and watch the news article. It's 2.5 minutes long. It's not. Anyway, let's end this with a very horrifying experience. James was a keen caver. He had spent 12 years serving as an engineer for the United States military, and during his training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, he had been introduced to the sport of spelunking. When he left the Army in 1992, he continued to explore the underground when he moved back to Missouri and rented a small house near the small community of Eldridge in northern Lacade County. James formed a small local cavers club for experienced spelunkers, and most weekends would find them exploring some of the many caves in Missouri and Arkansas. However, one weekend, while caving alone, James had an experience so bizarre and so disturbing that he never shared it with anyone, including his caving buddies. It was only many years later that he felt able to write anonymously to a website devoted to the mysteries. It was in 1995 that James decided to explore a cave in Camden County, Missouri. The cave was large and part of a much larger system, but the entrance was difficult to access and hidden, as far as the community of local cavers were aware, had not been explored for many years. James wriggled his way into the entrance without difficulty and began to explore several connected chambers, each musty and damp. Finally, he reached what he assumed was the last cave in the series. He then began to hear an odd rustling sound, which at first he took for water running or perhaps bats. However, he realized that the sound was coming from an opening in the end of the wall of the cave about 10 feet up from the ground. With some difficulty, James climbed the wall until his head was level with the rectangular opening, which was flat and narrow and too small to crawl through. The first surprise was that the opening was just a few feet long and led to a large limestone space which appeared to be artificially lit. The second surprise was the waft of warm, acidic, vinegary smelling air which emanated from the opening. The third was that in this large space beyond, James could see a small, squat vehicle that looked a little like a golf cart, but without obvious wheels. The last surprise was that James could hear footsteps inside the limestone room, which were getting closer. James was stunned as this very strange being came into view. It was a 7-foot-tall humanoid creature with brown, scaly skin, 2 legs, a pair of muscular-looking arms, and a very powerful tail which dragged on the ground as it walked. Its face looked vaguely human, but it lacked hair and ears, and there was a distinct ridge on the back of its head which extended down over its neck to its upper back. As James watched, the creature stopped, seemingly to examine the small vehicle, and suddenly the creature turned and looked directly towards James and uttered this horrible hissing sound. That was enough. James scrambled back down into the cave and then out into the open air as quickly as possible. When he finally got back to his parked vehicle, he was still shaking and hyperventilating, and it took some time before he was calm enough to safely drive himself home. James was terrified and deeply unsettled by this encounter, but it sounded so completely insane that he decided not to talk about it with any of his caving friends. Some years later, he went back to the cave in Camden County, intending on exploring it again. However, he discovered that the land on which the entrance was located was now part of a military compound, and he was not able to gain access. So just a little quick bonus upload for everyone. I'm not trying to insult people. I just want people to really use their intelligence and really start to look at things with, I guess, more of an open mind. And people can say, well, we're open-minded because we believe in Dogman and Bigfoot, but yet you're so open-minded that you're not willing to possibly think the reason why these photos and videos that we get are so grainy and blurry is because there may be some magnetic or electromagnetic disturbance, or it's something to do with their hair and fur. I'm not sure. And I don't think that, anytime soon we will have the answers, unfortunately. But, there's a reason why we only get these grainy photos, and it's not to trick the community. I really don't think that. I think the photos and videos that are meant to trick the community are the ones that are CGI, or the ones that are created by special effects artists. There was that one special effects artist that was out of like Brazil, and he, not even Brazil, I'm just going to say Central America because I forgot where it was, but I found his Instagram, and he was responsible for creating this Dogman that was dying, and it was for a movie, but yet someone found it, cut it down, and put it online and said, this is real, this happened in Mexico, and everybody went haywire over it. It's real, oh my God. I mean, come on. Instead of accepting, look at it, break it down, reverse Google search it. And if you don't know how to reverse Google search, because I didn't, I'm 47 years old. When I was growing up, the computers that we had in our school were black and white or black and green. The Oregon Trail was dots. I honestly have no idea how I created my channel. Yet, when I'm determined to research and figure something out, I will look it up and figure out how to do it. So it's not hard, and it makes the research that much more satisfying. But I'm not trying to offend anyone. I love you all. I truly do. I love this community. Y'all mean the world to me. So with that, may the Great Spirit watch over us all, guide us down that path that we call life, and please, everyone, stay safe and stay healthy.